Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social in association with William Hill and Empire Fight Store. Delighted to be joined here on Zoom today. Savannah Marshall, what an exciting time for you as an athlete. You've just signed a sort of groundbreaking deal with the PFL. Just firstly, it was a bit of a shock to all of us when we saw it. We knew that Claressa has signed with the PFL. How did this come about?
This has been in the making since around about October last year, and to be honest, I forgot about it. I went quite quiet, and then all of a sudden it was just contracts were in. It was all systems going. The next thing I was on a flight in New York, so it was all dead rush for me as well.
How are you going to adapt? Because I mean, it's just so totally different, but I'm sure a challenge that you're relishing as well.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to think I've boxed for 20 plus years, and I'm not going to lie, doing the same combinations, the same training regime, it gets a bit, boring. So, look, I'm excited. I'm really excited just to learn something new. I've said it a few times now, it could go either way. I could be half decent at it, or, I could be sat here in a year's time. My nose is all squashed all over my face, and I've just been arm bad to death. But I'm excited for it.
Is that scary? I mean, I know I speak to you from a boxing standpoint, and that's all you've ever known, right? It's that's still violence, it's still the game, but this is like a different level. I've got a lot of mates who follow like the UFC and the PFL, and I've always found it a little bit too brutal. Does that side not scare you a little bit?
It's like the fear of the unknown, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, there was a small little bit of me that did think, what on earth have I left myself in for? But no, it's new, it's exciting, and I think if I didn't take this opportunity, I'd kick myself.
Why the rematch in MMA first?
I don't believe I'll get it in the ring. And look, you've got to think, women, the pool in women's boxing isn't that big. It isn't at all. So really, I'm chasing her, and rightly so, because there's no one else out there for me to fight, really. So obviously, I'm under no illusion why the PFL were interested in me. Obviously, because of a potential massive fight with Claressa in the smart cage, and it's never been done before. You've never had two athletes, never mind two females, fight in the boxing ring and then in the cage. So even that, the thought of that got the cogs turning.
I was going to say, let's pick up on that because I've sort of monitored your career throughout, and I know how much of a special moment it was when you first brought that world title back to your house. Now to be able to be sat here and to do something that's groundbreaking, to be the first two female professional boxers to transition and sort of move into a different space, that's something that really sort of captivated you.
It added to it, definitely. And as well, I think people think, obviously I've just signed up to this whole new sport. I'm going to be jumping in with PFL world champions, signed up to the league, when that's not the case at all. Obviously, I've got to be realistic. I haven't been doing BJJ for years or kickboxing for years, whereas although Clarissa's had two fights in the smart cage, she's kind of not that far off my level. Although I've trained a little bit in MMA, I haven't never really, went full time with it or took it seriously. So it's a fight that's realistic.
You mentioned about Claressa having those fights in the cage already. As you say, not massively eventful in those two fights alone. But from what you've seen, you believe that you've got her number and that you'll sort of be able to sort of turn around more naturally.
100%. I do. I believe it'll be 1-1.
How does sort of is it weird giving a prediction for this? Because you sort of, I mean, I'm sure you've done little bits of training and everything's coming together, but I suppose we don't really know until you've tested yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the exciting part of it.
Yeah.
Um, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. I'm going to have to, you know, really focus, really train hard to even stand a chance, which is exciting.
Look, we always talk about like securing family legacy and everything. I'm sure you, being honest yourself, will say the financials were probably a reason as well. You've got to sort of come out of this game with the best opportunities for your family as well, right?
Oh, 100%, because just like boxing, it's dangerous. And if I was presented with a contract where it wasn't financially feasible, I wouldn't have even, turned over the first page. So of course that was a factor.
Claressa herself, she's always sort of, you've always had that back and forth, that needle. It's always been online and then in person. But from what I've seen of that face off in the octagon, it looked pretty chilled, pretty respectful. But I'm sure when it comes round to fight week, the animosity's there. It's different. It's not like you're fighting her over 10-2s this time round. Do you still feel the same way against her? Is it, or has it changed a little bit now that the sort of the martial arts changed?
I think there's that respect there, and I think not only me, but she knows that we're quite lucky in the aspect that we've got a rival, and it's quite rare, especially in boxing. Never mind it being two females, but we're definitely not friends or
No.
anything like that. I don't like being in her company, and I'm sure she doesn't like being in my company.
To what extent is this deal with the PFL? How many fights do you expect to have? Can we still await your return in the boxing ring at some point in the sort of distant future?
Yeah, so this is another thing. Boxing's my main priority, and it always will be. And this is something that the PFL understand. So, it'll be first and foremost in the boxing ring, more than likely in the smart cage.
How many fights do you expect to have?
So it's a multi-fight deal, but obviously, if I do well, get extended. If I'm rubbish, it'll probably get contract will probably get tore up.
Let me ask you about training regimes and everything. You're someone who's been with Peter Fury and he's brought you up through your career, but I don't know how well Peter Fury knows his BJJ. What you gonna sort of do to mix it up there?
To be honest, Peter was the one of the people who were really pushing it. It was just really happy for me saying, "Look, you've worked hard, so go and grab it with both hands." But yeah, look, it's all new. I'm still thinking about who I'm going to go with training wise, that sort of thing. But obviously, like I said, boxing's main priority. So it all has to like gear around boxing. But it's something I want to take seriously. So I've got a lot of time to think about it.
Just finally from me, you say boxing is your main priority. Do you know what one we can expect your next fight to be? Will it be next in with the PFL? Will it be straight into that Claressa Shields fight, or do you maybe look at sort of taking a boxing fight and then doing it towards early next year? Have you sort of got an idea, or have you and the team at PFL got a vision on how to make this progress?
Well, the thing is, I've got a mandatory with boxing, Shadisa Green. So that's something that is being looked at the minute. She's my WBC mandatory, and obviously, I want to keep them belts. I want to be undisputed champion. So it's all talks to be had going forward. Like I said, the PFL are really flexible and support me. So I'll be looking to have a fight probably after the summer next year.
All right, Savannah, thank you very much for your time. Always a pleasure. We look forward to seeing your MMA debut, how worlds collide. Just a final message to your fans and supporters. I'm sure very excited that you've sort of got this new venture to be able to pursue moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for the support as always, and it's exciting times ahead.